I'm actually here in Norway. That's never the best news to hear because I want to be the only staffing agency. They would have been able to pay him up to $250,000. A lot of things go into mind, generally not the most positive things. Here's one. Hello. It has been a minute. I haven't made these videos in a while, but if you're new here, welcome. My name is Preston, professional recruiter in the tech industry, running my own agency. Been at it for almost a decade. And the whole purpose of these weekly videos is to show you what we do behind the scenes and all the fun and challenging situations with candidates and clients that we find ourselves in.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun on this one.
As you can see, this is not my normal setup. I'm actually here in Norway, spending time with friends and family for a couple weeks before coming home and concentrating on finishing the year off strong. But lots to catch up on this video. I'm running out of breath, but gotta stop talking. Need to finish the run and my workout. See you in a bit. Whew, just had a good workout, a good run, and a great swim. And before you guys start asking, no, this is not our house. Yes, love it. This is the first time that I stayed in a beautiful, ultra contemporary just house like this. I feel like I'm living out of a magazine.
Dress code, black tie optional. Just like life.
And it's first time experience. As soon as we walked in, our jaws just dropped to the ground. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this is the life. This is the life. But it got me thinking about a decade ago, my then fiance and I were living together in a small 1-bedroom apartment in New York City. I think the rent was $1,700. And even with both our salaries combined, I was only making $30K. She was making probably $30K, a little bit less. We could barely cover like our heating. Like we never turned on our heating. And I remember during the winter time, when it got so cold, we just had to put on extra clothes and jackets and hats just to kind of stay warm. And now it just seems like eons ago and my life just changed completely. And even though it can change quickly, it also can change if you just work at it and be consistent over time. So don't have a fear to start. Just start now and keep at it. And pretty soon, you and maybe your good friends, family can stay in places like this, travel when you can. Did a lot of traveling this summer, doing a little bit more. Going to be out here in Norway for about 3 weeks and then coming back and looking to kind of stay focused. Excited to make a hire for our team. You know who you are. Excited for him to start in about 2-3 weeks from now. We might open up 1 or 2 more heads later this year, depending on how the market goes. But as you know, it's been a very, very difficult time. And to say that, I'm traveling right now, being able to kind of relax a little bit is from a position of privilege and grateful, and I never take anything for granted, and just lucky that we were able to have a decent kind of Q1, Q2 this year, and hoping to kind of steady the ship and finish this year strong. So gonna do my best to recharge, but still gonna be working here. As you know, I can't completely be unplugged, so we'll still be working here, adjusting to the time zone. Should be picking up a brand new client either tomorrow or early next week. I think they're hiring a bunch of software engineering roles and DevOps roles, which is fantastic because that just means great momentum, continuing to move forward, and a lot of other exciting announcements to share with you. So make sure you watch at the end of the video what they are. But also, if you like these video vlogs, like these weekly vlogs, I know I haven't put one out in a long time, make sure you comment down below so I can make sure we stay consistent. I just want to be able to put out value and forms of videos that resonate, the ones that can entertain and educate you as well. So gonna dry up here, did a good little run, little circuit, jumped into the pool, love it, and feeling good. Got a lot of things to do today. See you in a bit. I mean, look at this. This is the dining room area, pools out there. This is the kitchen, which is unreal. And if you go down this way, it's my office for the day with this view. First time staying in a room like this with true floor-to-ceiling windows. Oh man, feel so grateful, but also just inspires me more to work harder, be consistent. Maybe one day I can call something like this our own. But yeah, this is the view here. Crazy. Okay, so quick announcement that I'm really excited about. So number one, you can now book a consulting call with me. It is hourly, it is not free, it is paid. And it's typically for people who are already running agencies, they're already solo recruiters, and they're serious and they're struggling, or they want to level up, or they want to consult or need help troubleshooting for any reason. So That's the main purpose here. I'm leaving it hourly for now because typically after a deep dive, I'm usually able to help you in whatever you need help with. And if you are excited, make sure you go down in the description box below and book that as well. And excited to meet you, consult, and network and get your business along the way. The second thing we're now offering is what we like to call a business day, where essentially you can book up 5 hours of a day with me. What that will mean is that we'll hang out in person. So you can fly out to me, I'll fly out to you, I'll meet you, I'll meet the team, and it could be all about business, or it doesn't have to be. We can go rock climbing, we can go biking, we can go working out together. It's really for the purpose of developing strong relationships with you all, to consult, to network, give you guys a shout out on social as well. But also, if you have anything that is larger, more complex than what a typical consulting call can help with, that would be the best time. And it's a little bit more of an investment because you have a little bit more of my time. We'll be essentially spending time almost the whole day together. So you can also book that at the description box below. I will get back to you. We can schedule times and we can also schedule like logistics as well. This is not just for USA people. This can be for anyone around the world. Same thing with the consulting calls. My schedule is fairly manic and crazy and full, as you know, but I've been getting enough requests where I want to do what I can to be there for you all. And this is the smallest kind of tweak I can add to my schedule to give the most value. We're also working on a lot of other things, in my opinion, that are also very exciting, hoping to talk about it more, to be really able to release it in the future, but that's going to be on the back burner for now. But as of right now, if you want to, feel free to book a consulting call with me, feel free to book a business day with me, and excited to meet you all and help you provide value and strengthen our relationships, where maybe perhaps afterwards you can start working together, collaborating, partnering, and just overall winning together. So if you're excited, definitely reach out to me and talk soon. Okay, so far pretty good today. What I'm really needing to get used to is the whole time zone change. So I work East Coast hours in New York, roughly from like 9 to 6 or 7. And the 9 o'clock in New York basically starts around 3 p.m. here. So I woke up with my work brain on. I'm like, oh my God, I need to work. I have all these things I need to do today. And then the day actually doesn't start till 3 p.m. And even though technically I could work, I can't really work, meaning I cannot contact candidates or clients because it's going to be like 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And they'll be like, what is wrong with you? So
have you lost your mind?
That is the biggest adjustment I have to do. But we're picking up a brand new client, I think, on Monday for a systems admin DevOps role. We just signed a new client last week, picked up a strategy role, which is my #1 priority this week. But despite traveling, as you know, I'm always on the go. I'm always online and accessible and talking to a lot of great candidates, pushing a lot of the pipelines forward. We also have a really great group product manager candidate that is going to a final round next Monday. I got feedback from my client yesterday.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
That the team's really excited about them. I also was told by the same client that they're now working with other staffing agencies, and that's never the best news to hear because I want to be the only staffing agency, but that's totally cool. I embrace the competition. I love it. I know the value and speed of what me and my team can bring, and so we're still excited about closing this out. And so making the point to them that they should only be working with us. So either way, that's totally cool. So we're going to probably do a process call with my candidate either later today or tomorrow before the weekend. And we're also frantically working on software engineering kind of lead roles. We also have like a marketing role, like a VP of performance marketing I'm working on with a really cool, like a personal electronics direct consumer brand, and gonna have a new teammate starting in 2 weeks from now, which I'm really excited about. So back-to-back calls right now. You already had 2 to 3, have 5 minutes spare to kind of give you a little update, but the rest of the day is just going to be sitting down at my mobile office here, just doing the best that I can. It's always a little bit more distracting when you travel, especially with the view like this. So it really requires for me to be focused, heads down, and just get things done. But yeah, excited to kind of share again about the consulting call and the business day opportunities for you all, but going to do what I do best and just hunker down and make the most of this wonderful opportunity where I can kind of work around the world, given that the time zone is acceptable, and continue to push my business forward and make sure that candidates and clients in our pipeline are getting things done. All right, so good day so far. Just calls back to back. Just talked to a really great engineering manager for another role, but want to share something with you. So we're working with a aviation client, global company, and we have one of our candidates a group product manager going into a final round. Now, what's really interesting is that earlier today, I got a ping from their internal HR saying, hey, like we'd like to consolidate the flow working with you guys. And instead of you communicating directly with the hiring manager, we'd love for you to kind of communicate directly with us instead. And a lot of things go into mind, generally not the most positive things. Here's why. Typically, when we engage with clients, I love to work directly with the founder and the hiring manager, right? I know exactly what they want. We have smooth, direct communication. When I send them people, I can follow up directly with them. Like, to me, from my experience, that's the easiest and fastest way that you can just get things done. As soon as you start adding more and more and more people, the founder, hiring manager gets hands off, like a middle person, like an HR person. I would say not all the time, but most of the times things slow down a lot, because then you have to follow up with the HR manager, who then has to follow up with the hiring manager.
Too many things happening.
It just adds an extra step. It just makes things a lot slower. So adding that to this situation, my relationship with my client has been going on for a long time. Like, this has been a position that's been driving us crazy. It's a really important position for them, and we're doing whatever we can to find the right person. In fact, we had an offer out, almost 2 months, a month and a half ago on somebody, and then that candidate just ghosted, just completely disappeared. And so had to go back to the drawing board. And now 2 months later, we have a lot of people making the second, third rounds. Finally, we have now a handful of people making it towards the latter rounds. They just have a lot of stages. It's a very busy time for my clients. The recruiting's slow. So it's just been a process. But now that we have someone late in stages, I don't want to really lose that momentum. And so what do you do in scenarios like this, right? On one hand, you can just be like, okay, cool. Like, not here to, put up a fight or push back, like whatever you want, I'll follow through. But what I like to do is respond back and back it up with data, right? I love to say, hey, HR person, let's chat. We just spoke not too long ago today about this whole situation. I'm like, hey, we can do what you propose, but if it's okay, we'll have to stick with the original flow because X, Y, and Z. And here's where you want to back it up with data, how it's much faster, talking to the hiring managers, giving feedback, overall giving a better experience for the candidate, a better experience for the client. We've engaged with them before and had to go through HR, and things just slowed down and plateaued. And I know with this role, the CPO, the Chief Product Officer, is directly involved. So he's taken his time out of the day to also interview. And so it's just a lot of stakeholders and a lot of importance to just do this right and get this done. And so I share this with the HR person. I'm totally cool if the HR is like, no, we're switching back. But he's like, you know what, Preston, you're right. It makes sense. Just continue going with the hiring manager and just CC me. And that is music to my ears. That's exactly what I wanted. And now we're going to next week with one final round, one third round, and a bunch of other first and second rounds with no additional unexpected delays in communication and coordinating. So when you're recruiting, speed is king. Things slow down and you lose competitiveness drastically if things slow down, if the interview process is too late, if feedback is too difficult to get. You want to do what's best for the candidate. Also knowing the candidate, if they're interviewing with you, chances are they're probably interviewing with anyone else as well. So if you want your candidate to go to the final round, you got to do whatever you can to fight for the process, fight for optimizing efficiency, back it up with data when you talk to hiring managers and HRs. And most of the time they'll understand because we are all part of the same team. We're all on the same boat. We all want to hire and find someone good pronto. So really feeling good about that. Got 3 more calls today. Got 2 product managers, 1 more engineer call. Have an interview happening right now for a marketing candidate. I hope it's going well. We had one yesterday. Seemed to have gone well. No feedback from my client yet. It's a very, very important to be consistent with your follow-ups with clients because a lot of times they're busy. They're either founders or CEOs, hiring managers. You're not the only, partner they're working with. So you got to follow up with them intentionally, but don't harass them, right? Be respectful. Make it about the candidate because it really is, because they're the one interviewing at the company. And so don't make it about between you and your hiring manager, is make it about the candidate between the company. And just be persistent. And chances are, if the team is excited and they're, mindful of the reputation, they want to make sure candidates have good experience, they'll get back to you soon later. So gonna continue sitting here and then make some food probably later, maybe jump on the pool a little bit later, enjoy. But so far, getting a good full day's work in and almost done. What's also really cool here are these brand new saunas on the water. There's different companies. This one right in front of the Opera House. We're checking out Koi Ramen. We actually ate here 4 years ago in a different location. We're curious to see if this is as good. Okay, KK. Is it as good as last time?
Yes.
has a good crunch to it, but it's not undercooked, not overcooked. It's perfect. And it grabs the soup so well, so it feels creamy as well.
Chicken karaage. Fried chicken. Just got back from Oslo and it's wet and gray day on Friday, but still beautiful. All right, what should we have for a snack? Maybe want some yogurt. This is their strawberry yogurt. Have that. And got some kefir, blueberry. Their orange juice is called apple juice in Norwegian. Their apple juice, strangely enough, is called apple juice. Sure that makes sense. Let's have some orange juice. All right, happy Friday. I know as per this video, it's a short week, but honestly, the rest of the week, as you've seen from my previous Week in Life videos, are much of the same, just sitting down and working, and also just trying to unplug a little bit, spend time with friends and family here as well. But coming into Friday, as you saw, we spent a little time in Oslo for a couple hours, getting some good food, eats, and exploring. Probably gonna go and explore all over in the weekend, but coming back, trying to get into focus work mode, a lot of same stuff is happening, right? I think I have about 9 candidate calls today. We got 2 interviews today, 2 interviews yesterday. The interview yesterday went well for a VP performance marketing. He's actually moving to a chat with the CEO next Tuesday, which is awesome. Our pipeline for principal engineer is looking good. Pipeline for product manager I spoke about the other day, like final round, possibly early next week as well. So a couple interviews off the bat. New client, picked up a new client last week, picking up a new client next week. So we got momentum, which is something that I'm really happy about. And I think I have about 4 more candidate calls today. Just doing what I can and making sure that no matter what I do, whether at home or traveling, we're always on point. And especially when candidates are in later stages, that if they need any assistance, if there are any fires going on, that I be accessible and always there as much as possible for my candidates and clients to make sure the whole process and the pipeline keeps moving forward. So that's my number 1 priority. So no matter where I am in the world, that's always like top of mind. And if I can't manage it, I'll ask my team to help manage it if they can. But still, even with myself, I'm very much hands-on. I just love recruiting. I love end-to-end recruiting. And I just love being hands-on and doing the sourcing myself, doing the candidate screening myself. It's why I still do it even to this day. I just love the work. I love the process, and I love meeting people and making new relationships. So for the rest of the day, that's really going to kind of be the focus for this week. We're still traveling next week and the half of week of the following week, and then I'm coming back home for Q4. We're going to crush it all together. But all in all, going to dive right in and do some candidate calls and talk to you in a bit. All right, quick break. So for all of those that are reaching out that are expressing interest in wanting to do splits, like that's awesome. Love to do splits with you. And please continue to reach out. I'm doing what I can on my end to kind of further optimize the system. We are already engaged with a good number of recruiters to do splits. Happy to do more. Basically, who I kind of look for in terms of an ideal split partner is you have to be doing recruiting end to end in the agency world for at least a couple of years. But the time doesn't really mean too much to me. I think what's more important is having a good track record of consistent placements, both on the client side and candidate side. If you obviously operate within overlapping or similar markets that I do, that's obviously a huge plus. So you don't have to relearn a lot of the roles if you want to do splits with me. And those that just move fast and have all around just great reputation and ethics and morale and just vibe with how we do recruiting as well, and wanting to be as transparent and work with a sense of urgency as much as possible. So if you vibe with that, that's awesome. Really looking for splits for recruiters who primarily work here in the US market. You don't have to be in the US. You can also be in the UK, Europe. You can also be in Asia, but always looking, always happy to hear and meet other recruiter stories and hear about their experiences. And it's very inspirational to me as well. I'm just, here doing my thing, doing the best that I can, and love, being able to kind of partner with other like-minded individuals on this journey together. So nothing excites me more than that. I'm doing my best to kind of create a better system for myself on the back end to work with our split partners. But that's not to say that hey, if you're interested, wait for that. Please definitely reach out to me and hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram, Discord channel, or just hit me up directly, and would love to be able to kind of have a conversation going. And if I'm not ready yet, I'll just let you know, and we'll keep things on the back burner, and I'll let you know in full green light, official thumbs up when things are good to go, and we can open up the partnerships again. So yeah, love meeting recruiters. One of the reasons why I just love making these videos, putting myself out there. It's recruiting, on your own for many years is very, very lonely. And so it's really cool to meet people who are in the same boat, can empathize, we can collaborate, we can, whine together, we can celebrate each other's successes, and just, be part of this crazy recruiting journey that we're in this very difficult market. So if you're interested, let me know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to work with you. And if you already reached out, I'm working on it. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so crazy news. About 2-3 minutes ago, I just got a text from a client of ours where we have a candidate who is being considered for a CTO position. We were trying to go back and forth with the founder to schedule a final round interview this week, but haven't heard back from him all week. Not sure why. Texted, email, called him. I also have a relationship with this guy. Like, he was a previous client before in his previous job. I helped scale out his team. So when people I have relationships with don't get back to me, there hopefully should be a good reason, right? So I haven't heard from him all week. I was just being persistent following up with him. I heard back from literally a couple minutes ago. He texted me saying, hey, our small team, our small company, and just caveat to that, they're a seed level startup, less than 10 people. Going back text messages, usually like, hey, thanks for following up. We're doing layoffs. Had to let people go, and we lost our biggest client. And so we're burning money like crazy. We're not sure if we can hire this guy right now, even though he's a super high level critical person who the whole team, including me, we love him a lot. And so I hate hearing that. It always feels like you just get punched in the gut, which is a whole reason why you never want to bank on one client. And so I chatted with him like, hey, is there anything you could do? Maybe we could do like, contracting hourly, maybe for a month or two, and then you can convert him. Or why don't we just revisit him, maybe in 30, 60 days? Is that okay? I'll keep him warm. He's like, that sounds great, but I'm not sure if we'll be hiring probably till 2024 January. And I'm not sure if you can keep him that warm that long. And I'm like, that's probably right, because our candidate is actively looking and he likes you guys a lot, but we want to make sure that he has a good relationship and a good experience with you as my client. And we want to make sure that you as a client don't necessarily bring on someone that you can't give enough work to, let alone even afford to pay, right? So not the best news right now. It would have been absolutely great to be able to close this deal. It would have been a gigantic deal. They would have been able to pay him up to $250,000. I think with about 18% fee with them, which is pretty solid for this market. Could have definitely used that, but there is still a possibility that I'll be working with them maybe in January next year, but can't really focus on too much for the rest of this year. So my call to actions here is I need to let my candidate know this is probably not going to happen. He's going to be bummed, and a part of him's going to feel pretty pissed that we're wasting his time. And I totally get where he's coming from, because if I was in a situation and I went all the way to the final round with the company and then they just pull the rug underneath my feet, I'd be pretty annoyed as well. So I'd have to do my best to kind of do some damage control there, keep him warm, engaged. If I can pitch him other roles, I would. But yeah, for this specific client, can't do anything. It's a no-go. In this small event that they're able to hire again before the New Year's, they said that they'll go back to me. So not the best news, bummed. And yeah, just want to show that it's not all positives in this business. Things go up and down and things can change like that. And so you have to be active, you have to be aware, you have to be just sensitive, and you have to know the next steps and be knowledgeable on like what you have to do in every single situation. So just a breather. And again, this is the biggest example why, if you're in this business, you never ever want to bank on one client. And I think this goes with any business, right? You never want to bank on one client, just like my client did in their situation. Like, they had a couple big clients. One of them, for any reason, decides not to work with them. And then if that happens, that's so much money that's not coming in, and you have to either cut costs, pivot, get new clients, right? And if you've been watching for a long time, in my previous videos, I told myself that if I was going to work for myself, I would never want to be in a situation to have not enough work. I never want to put all my eggs in one basket. Don't bet the farm on just one thing, and always have business development going on, because this happens all the time. I try to be transparent. I try to show it in real time when it does happen, but when it happens, it does not feel good. It never feels better. You just have to get over it, get yourself standing up again and move forward. But yeah, just you got to move on, move past it, swallow your pride, get to work, develop new relationships, and keep it going. And if we can also help our candidate and help him find other roles, I totally would do that too. So bummer, but still have about 3 more candidate calls to do today. We've got 1 more interview request from my client, which is fantastic. Setting that up as we speak for next week. And so next week's looking pretty good, but as you know, got to finish the week off strong. So if you're watching this, just a quick thought. And if you're like, wow, I would love to be a recruiter, I'd love to get into recruiting, I think it's an awesome career. And then if you're thinking, oh my goodness, well, look at the market, it's a horrible time. Yes, that's a horrible time, but you can't time it. And I think when it comes to recruiting, there are always people looking for recruiters on the corporate side. There are always people looking to hire recruiters on the agency side. If you want to do it, do it. It's awesome. And I think sitting in this absolutely gorgeous and just ridiculous house and looking out at the views while taking a break from work, I think one of the great benefits of just working for yourself as a recruiter, whether it's freelancing, being a solo, whether it's owning a small team, is the flexibility that it gives you. It does have a lot of ups and downs, as I try my best to show, and it does drive you insane. But again, every line of work will always have those moments where you have the highs and you also have the lows, and you also have the moments like, why am I still doing this? And yes, recruiting has a lot of that too, maybe a little bit more because it's also a service-based industry, especially on a service-based model, especially on the staffing side where we are the middlemen we're smushed on one side with candidates and on the other side as clients, right? And because we're human beings, a lot of things also happen and things rarely go as planned or as perfectly as they should be. So a lot of communication, drama, politics, frustrations, ghosting, just anything that happens working with human beings happens in this business. But at the same time, on the flip side, if you get a chance to place someone, get their dream job, help a CEO hire their first, rock star talent, or scale a team to 10 people, or you talk to someone else and they're like, hey, we've been through so many recruiters and we were just almost ready to give up on recruiters. Then we found you guys, and then boom, you're giving us great people, works like butter, awesome results, and we love working with recruiters again. I mean, these are the moments that I live for. These are the moments why I continue to be in recruiting to this day after all of these years. So I think whether you're more entrepreneurial focused, whether you're more sales motivated, agency side might be appealing. If you just want, a stable job and a fantastic career where you can work your way up, the corporate side is also appealing as well. There's everything for everyone in recruiting. And what I just showed is just a small fraction of the entire industry, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So just grateful that the current line of work that I'm in, our business here, allows me to continue to work even though I'm going beyond domestic borders and even though I'm in a different time zone. So I think that's one of the coolest things ever. And I think one of the reasons why I got into recruiting is because it just gave me that flexibility. I'm someone who loves to travel, and it allows me to continue to be able to grow my business, do work, make money while I travel. And to me, that's the dream, right? And so I'm not completely, turning a blind eye to the state of the market. Things are very tough right now. Things are very uncomfortable right now. We have to be more aggressive as recruiters, but no one has a crystal ball. No one knows how long this is going to last, but we do know that it's not going to be like this forever. So my advice is do your best, take the high road, focus on relationships and do the best genuinely for your clients and candidates, even if that means leaving some money on the table. Because right now, recruiters that have a long-term horizon, they're focused on true, genuine relationships, are able to do really well in down markets because you're still able to get really awesome clients. Why? From the easiest underestimated channel, word of mouth referrals. Because you do a great job with clients, they're happy to kind of share your name with other referrals, other founders or hiring managers that they network with. They constantly get a really strong pipeline of candidates. Why? Because they do their best for candidates and the candidates know that. And so even if the candidates don't get a job through the recruiter, they have such a good experience that they can't help but share their experience with other candidates or maybe even other potential clients with their network, and that inbound comes back to you tenfold. So focus on planting the seeds right now, even if it's a top market, because a lot of the opportunities that will sprout into the future will come back to you, and some might come back to you sooner than you think. Your star candidate, your star client could be just a day away, could be a week away, but just be consistent. And you plant those seeds right now, you do good work, and the universe will reward you, as cheesy as that sounds. So that's my thought for the week here. I hope that really helps. It's also just been a really challenging time for myself as well. So I totally feel it, but I'm also grateful that, we have a lot of book of business, a lot of older clients that are coming back to us. We're still generating new relationships with new clients, and just overall also we're happy and grateful as well. So I expect all of us to finish this summer and Q4 on a high note. Got a couple more calls left to go, and going to probably call it a day early because it was a good week of work here, but also just trying to spend some time with family just to kind of recharge and decompress and enjoy and be present as much as possible. So able to kind of shoot a little bit this week, not as much as I usually do for my weekend in life. Apologize for that. I know future videos, I'll do my best to put more out there. But yeah, if you're interested, please book a call with me, book a business day with me. Happy to help, happy to collaborate and network and give you a shout out and to kind of help you on your journey, help kickstart your business. Love meeting you all, love hearing your stories. You all inspire me as well. I'm just trying to do the best that I can, and I'm in no way perfect. I know there's so many more ways for myself to get better or improve, and just want to be a student of the game and be positive and enjoy every step of it. So got a couple more calls, then I'm gonna relax, but I really appreciate you plugging in here, and hope I made sense while I'm talking, not in my usual kind of home office here, just talking through my phone. So I hope the audio is okay, but appreciate you all. Hope you have a great summer. See you soon.